Hey Brew Tubers, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I'm sorry I didn't post last week, but I didn't really have a huge update, so I wanted to wait till I had some updates to share with you before I actually posted a Homebrew Wednesday. And I think that's something other Brew Tubers go by if they don't have any crazy updates or they're busy in their life with work or family. They don't just post every week. So we're not going to be drinking a beer today because I'll tell you in a minute why. I've been drinking a lot the past couple of days. So I'm sitting here drinking a nice big coffee mug full of chai tea. But, so as you see, I have a lot of beer here on the table. I'll go through most of it's from two different beer mails, one from Sjporr and one from Kevin Clements. So since SJ's arrived first, I'll show off the beers that he sent me. Sent me a 6-pack of 6 different home brews. So the first one is, I think he did with his son-in-law, I believe, or his daughter's boyfriend, something like that. The Winter Warmer, I think he aged part of it with fruit, but this is a non-fruited one. This is the Tyler Holland Presents Creekside Brewing's Spiced Winter Warmer. It was bottled in December of 2013, and it had a whopping 9.8% ABV and 41 IBUs. So, looking forward to that. It has a nice Little Face Brewing cap on it, which is really cool. I'm hoping to make Brewed Palate or Holy Inn Brewing Company caps at some point for my beers. I know Zippy's been doing that for some people, so maybe I'll talk to him about it. Next is one of the ones I've been keeping in the fridge because it's from February of 2012. Is Little Face Brewing's Oatmeal Stout at 6.13%. Now SJ said that it could, when he bottled it, even it was a little harsh and it took a while to smoothen out. So I'm keeping that in the fridge, so I know that's the beer from SJ that I want to drink first. The next one is from was bottled on March 29th of 2013, and that's a Baltic Porter. That's about 7.5%, 8%, so it should be aging pretty nicely. The next is his from special, I'm not sure exactly what year it was bottled in, but it's his special Abbey Ale, the biggest beer of the bunch at 13.52%. Pretty excited for that. Now the oldest one is from March 5th of 2011, and it's 8%. It's his Little Face Brewing's Duke's Special Belgian Ale. So I'm really looking forward to it. Belgian ales usually age really well, and this is, over 2 years old, so, almost 3 years old. So I'm looking forward to what that tastes like. Next, another one I've been keeping in the fridge is his Burton ESB, or Burton Extra Special Bitter Ale, clocking in at 6.9%, which is a little higher than for the style, but it attenuated down to 10.14, so that's 6.9% ABV and 38.3 IBUs. Very accurate there, SJ. I think I got everything in there, a little 6, yeah. So the next beer mail I got was from, like I said, from Kevin Clements. Now, some beers did freeze like mine did, so we're definitely, and this was a very expensive trade on both of our parts. Like, I think I spent like $90 on beer, and he spent over $100. So because I was spending him more bottles, we didn't even out the money because the shipping was pretty much would make everything equal. But the difference between the freezing bottles with me and him is that mine, only this, which was the most expensive beer, the Cascade Brewing's Vlad the Impaler, a 11% sour ale, it only leaked a tiny bit, so the level of liquid is still all the way up on the neck. It maybe leaked an ounce or less. So I know it froze because when it got here, it was a lot of the liquid was frozen. But since it was a really $32 bottle of beer, a very expensive bottle of beer, I don't want to, even if, maybe lost carbonation or it tastes watered down, it's not just a beer that I'm just going to pop open. It's not 11% sour. Like, I just don't want to, maybe I'll open it this weekend or something like that, but I'd rather still save it to share with people. And if worst to worst, if it doesn't taste good, I have plenty of other beer in my apartment to share with friends. But I don't want to just like off the cuff just open it an 11% sour. That might still taste good. So especially because it didn't really leak that much. And with the cork cage bottle, the Brooklyn Local 2 that I sent him, like half the bottle leaked out, so it was very oxidized and no carbonation. But since most of the beer's still there, like I said, I'm not, gonna jump the gun. Even though I really did enjoy that Kevin opened the beers that leaked. Also, another beer that was frozen solid when he got to me was his double IPA, which he told me is drinking more like a barley wine now. So I also been keeping this in the fridge, so I'll open it soon. But it didn't leak at all, so a little more leeway. Two of the beers which I think may have frozen a tiny bit, but they were pretty much defrosted, for lack of a better word. I don't suspect that they froze a little bit because they were in the same level of beers in the box with the Cascade, are the two beers from Deschutes Brewery, the Black Butte 25, which is their anniversary beer, and then the other one, which started the trade, was the 2013 Abyss, which is an 11% Imperial Stout aged with blackstrap molasses, licorice, cherry bark, and vanilla, with 6% in oak bourbon barrels, 11% in just plain oak barrels, and 11% in oak wine barrels. So it should be pretty complex. Then the next few beers definitely didn't freeze. So for the first is the Mother of 2013 Pelican Brewery Mother of All Storms barley wine, which is an English barley wine, Asian bourbon barrels. And it's supposed to be one of the best barley wines in America. So it's also a $25 bottle. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really happy that he was willing to, spend the money and put this trade together. Now the next two beers that he sent came from his cellar, and the first is Cherry Atom from the Wood, is a 2012 bottle, which you have to go to the brewery to get. So it's their Atom beer aged with cherries and Asian barrels. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then he threw in another Hair of the Dog beer, which I'm really excited for, also a 2012 bottle of their Michael, which is a Flanders Red Ale, which is barrel aged and bottle conditioned. So I love sours, and I'm really happy that, I guess he knew that I love sours, so so he included that, so I'm really excited. And then last but not least, he included a bottle of his spicy Mayan chocolate stout, which I'm really, really excited about. You guys can see the label there. I'll probably take a picture just to show you a better idea of the label, but I really like that he goes out of his way to create really cool labels for his home brews. So that's the beer mail updates. Before I get into my home brewing stuff, I just want to do some craft beer updates, just because I've been using these Homebrew Wednesdays just to give you a general update of what's going on with me, because I do a lot of craft beer stuff here in New York City, and I do a lot of home brewing. So one brewery from two breweries that have come to New York over the past 6 months or so. I'll start with the one that's been around for also a tad longer, since this past summer. It's Crooked Stave from Colorado, which you may have heard of from Colorado Fly Fishermen. They do 100% Brett Brettanomyces beers. So the first one that I picked up this week is their Hop Savant. It's dry hopped, which is fermented 100% with Brett, and it's dry hopped and aged in oak. So this one specifically is the batch 2 from 2013, and it was dry hop, and the hops for aroma and dry hopping were Centennial and Simcoe, and it's just at the cusp of being between a pale ale and an IPA. It's 6.2%. And so, although you could probably age this because it's a Brett beer, I'll probably drink it as soon as possible. But I was hoping to share it with my older brother because he shares all the sours with me. So I usually share my sours with him. And then the next one, which is actually really cool, like a pinkish white wax, which I might age for a while, is their saison. One of their saisons called Viel or Val, which this one's called Cranberry and Spice. So then I looked at the back, and it says artisan ale aged in oak barrels with cranberry, cinnamon, hibiscus, and nutmeg. So I love hibiscus, and I think it would go great with the saison, and the cinnamon and nutmeg are really good spices to go with the cranberries. So I've read reviews, and a lot of people say it tastes like a nice tart cranberry beer with a little bit of spice. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know how long I'll age it, but we'll see what's with that. And then the second brewery that's come to New York more recently is Jester King, which is famous for their black metal stout and some of their farmhouse fermented beers. Jester King from Austin, Texas. And the first beer that they sent to New York, or at least the first one I was able to get my hands on, at a store called Top Hops, which is one of the stores that's part of a new trend in New York City, or in the New York City beer scene, is that it's a bar slash growler station slash bottle shop. So you can go there, of course, buy bottles of beer. They have most of these stores have a really good selection, and you could and then you sit. Most of them have at least 6, or some have like 12 or more taps. So you can either sit there and have a flight, or get a pint, or a growler to go. And they have events there, so it's like a hybrid of everything that really brings all parts of the beer culture in the area together. So, moving on to why I'm drinking chai tea right now. The famous Bell's Brewery from Kalamazoo, Michigan, came to New York officially. They came a few months ago, but what they did was they started in upstate New York and they trickled down. And all this week, from February 10th to 14th, they're all like a lot of beer bars have been having Bell's events where they put between 7 and 12 Bell's beers on tap. So the store that I got the Crooked Stave beers at is the newest, I believe, of the hybrid stores, called Beer Culture. A really cool place, smack in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, on 45th Street and 8th Avenue. A really nice owners. I went there. They were very welcoming. I introduced them. I told them on my vlog, and I had a couple Bell's beers there. I had their Hop Slam and the Expedition Stout, the beers that I was really excited to try on tap. And I'll be posting beer reviews of all the beers that I tried that night, Tuesday night, on my blog. I had those 2 beers there, chatted up with people, met a couple other brewery reps that were in the store, then one from Sierra Nevada, which I'll probably be filming a video with soon because he said he'd be interested in the whole, like Smutty Nose Week thing I did, so it'll be really cool to get in touch with him about that. And a girl from Left Hand, so maybe I'll get in touch with her at some point, but that was cool. And then after that, I wanted to hit up one of the bigger events because they had their event Monday night, and I was just going there to see what they had left, so maybe I could enjoy and savor my Hop Slam and Expedition Stout in a more quiet atmosphere to take tasting notes before I went to like a big event. So then I met up with my wife at a bar called Rattle and Hum, which I don't know if I've mentioned before, which is one of the first craft beer bars I became a regular at, which has 40 taps, and they had 12 Bell's beers on tap. And I had a flight of 4 Bell's beers that I haven't had, and then I had a pint of their Two Hearted IPA, which is amazing on tap. I've had it in bottle, was blown away by it. Like many of you have, it's a 100% Centennial hops IPA. I don't know what they do, but when I tried it, my wife had a flight with it, and she liked it, and she also liked the hop slam, which is really cool because now I can drink hoppy beers with her. But I said, let me taste a little bit of your Two Hearted because I hadn't had it on tap yet. So I tried it, I was blown away, so I had to get a pint once I was done with my flight. And then yesterday, segueing into more home brewing, I had a job interview, and then I went to Blind Tiger to check out their Bells event, and I had another hop slam and their Java style, which I had in my flight right on home, but I really loved it, so I got a pint of that. And I was gonna interview Larry Bell, who's the founder and owner of Bell's, but he was like the reps from the distributor are trying to nudge him out to go to another event, and since I also had to go to another event, I just said, you know what, we'll exchange business cards, and he said, contact me, and we'll try to put a time together to chat on like Google Plus or over the phone, and I'll try to record it, for a podcast or something. But the event that I went to was every month. My local homebrew shop, which I mentioned many times, called Bitter and Esther's, has every month a homebrew bottle share, and I've been really meaning to go. And since I knew it would be snowing today on Thursday when I'm filming this, I knew that I had to get there on Wednesday anyway, to pick up ingredients for my triple. So I went to the bottle share. I bought 2 bottles of my barley wine, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to open, but I did anyway. And 2 bottles of my breakfast stout, since I still have a little left. And the barley wine is actually tasting pretty nice. The oak is still very forward. The hops have really died down in 3 weeks because the oak really took over. But hopefully the hop flavor will come out more as it ages. But the oak really darkened the beer, and it's tasting nice, and everyone who tried it really liked it. And I had an amazing time at the tasting. I'll post a picture here that we took of the group of people that were there. People just trickled in. I got there at 7, even though it started at 6:30, and people just trickled in. We had a great time talking brewing techniques and just trying people's different beers. And speaking about chai tea, someone added chai tea to a black IPA, and it was really good. The hops died down, the chai came forward. It tasted almost like a chai tea latte in the end, and it was so good. So I think that maybe when I brew my breakfast stout next fall, instead of adding like cinnamon, make it like I was thinking of making like an oatmeal raisin cookie with a little bit of cinnamon and some raisins with the cocoa nibs and secondary. But I'm thinking instead of cinnamon, maybe adding chai tea right before bottling. Like make a concentrate, cool it down, and add it to the bottling bucket. Because me and my wife both like chai, love chai, and it'd be just really cool. So I did pick up the ingredients for my triple. I'll go over the recipe again in a second, but here's the grains, and they sell their bulk clear candy sugar, so I have 2 pounds of candy sugar there. And I got their last package of their Trappist high gravity yeast, so I was really lucky that I didn't really have to compromise anything on my recipe. So just, I know this video is really long. I just, I guess I waited to add a ton of updates. But so we have here is 11.5 pounds. Again, I'm calling it Woman of Valor Triple because I'm brewing it because my wife loves Belgians and I love Belgians, and yeah, I'll explain it more when I brew the beer why I called it that. But anyway, it's a Belgian triple with 11.5 pounds of Belgian Pilsner malt, 2 pounds, just over 2 pounds of white wheat. Like when you're weighing things out at the store, it's hard to get exact. So I think I wrote down here 2.37 pounds of white wheat. Then 6 ounces, or maybe a tad over 6 ounces of aromatic malt, just to give it a little bit of malt character. Then 2 pounds of clear candy sugar. And then the hop schedule is going to be 1 ounce of Hallertau at 60 minutes, 3/4 of an ounce of Saaz at 20, 3/4 of an ounce of Hallertau at 10, and 1 ounce of Saaz at 5. So I really want to build up a nice, like spicy, earthy, like lemony hop character but it's still going to only be about 30 IBUs because the size are 4.6 AA and the Hallertau. It's a little high for the Hallertauer, but they're from Germany because they're Hallertauer Mittelfrüh, and they're 6.3 alpha acid. So I had to kind of tweak the hops a little bit to make sure that it was within style, and thank Beersmith for that. And then it's going to be 5.3 SRM. So yeah. So again, then the Trapezoid gravity yeast. So hopefully I'll film as much of a brew day as possible. My big goal for this one is to do a correct mash out, so that I can get, the high gravity, the pre-boil gravity that I want, and and Beersmith says I can get 10% ABV, but Beersmith really sets your goals really high for your, even if you put in your equipment profile. So I always get a little extra malt, so just in case. So I really want it to be between like 8.5% and 9%. So if I don't hit my numbers completely, as long as I make a good starter and it attenuates down all the way, I should be good to go. So again, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I've been rambling on for over 20 minutes here. I'll try to edit it down a little bit, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update of everything that's going on, so that you can kind of get a picture of why I wait to post these updates. So happy Homebrew Wednesday. I know I'm posting this on Thursday, but happy home brewing, happy drinking good beer, and I'm really looking forward to sharing more of my brewing and craft beer adventures with you guys. Cheers.